Alright, Steam Summer Sale video number 2. All games under $10, equal to their previous lows or new lows. 25 games, let's go. First we have Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So this is 90% off, ₹299 only, $6, £5, 8 in Canada, 6 in the Eurozone. All 3 games, all content, all DLCs, remastered, fantastic deal. Next we have Mafia Definitive Edition. So this is the remake of the first Mafia game that came out in 2020. The original game came out in 2003, remake came out in 2020. This is a full remake, fantastic game again. Graphically it looks good, stunning, period cars, stuff like that. Now at a great price, 75% off, $10, $5.49 in India, $8.74 in the UK, $12.49 in Canada, 10 in the Eurozone. Alright, next up we have Aliens Fireteam Elite. Co-op game. I'll mention a few co-op shooters in this one, and you can play this single player, but if you have friends you can play this in online co-op. For some reason the plugin isn't giving me prices for other regions, but in India it's $389, in the US it should be under 10, like $9.99, $7.79 in the UK, $8.99 in the Euro. In fact it should be $8.99 as well. Next up we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've heard a few people mention this game. I'm not familiar, seems to be okay. Recent reviews are a bit mixed, but overall still mostly positive. Came out towards the end of last year, and at a 75% discount it is just under 10 at $9.99, $400 in India, $8.37 in the UK, $12.99 in Canada, and $9.74 in the Eurozone. Next we have the very popular Deep Rock Galactic co-op PvE game. Similar, you could say, a little bit to something like Left 4 Dead. You are a colony of dwarves, you have to mine for resources and then fight off the alien bug-like creatures. Really fun game. You can see overwhelmingly positive reviews, and not an expensive game either. So 67% off, $9.89, $2.30 in India, $8.24 in the UK, $11.54 in Canada, $9.89 in the Eurozone. Has good player numbers as well. Next is Subnautica. So another very popular underwater survival crafting game. I've played this and finished this. In fact, I did a full let's play of it. Really good game. There's a sequel which is also pretty good. Some scary monsters underwater and an interesting story. So you crash land on an alien underwater planet. You have to survive, find out what happened, and try to find a way to get out. If you enjoy it, take your time. It's an easy 50-hour game. So this one is 67% off, $9.89, $4.94 in India, $8.24 in the UK, $13.19 in Canada, $9.89 in the Eurozone. Devil May Cry 5. So Capcom has a lot of games on sale here, and I thought I'll mention Devil May Cry 5 again. Overwhelmingly positive once again. Really good game, very fun. The RE engine is excellent, so it's easy to run for most people. So you have the Devil May Cry 5 plus Virgil for 67% off. Usual price hasn't gone below this, you can see. $9.89, $5.77 in India, $7.91 in the UK, $13 in Canada, $9.89 in the Eurozone. Next we have Valheim. Valheim has been out for a few years, still in early access, but a lot of people playing right now, as you can see. Very popular. Up to 10 people can play this in co-op. So very easy to run as well. The system requirements are very low, and you can play single player. You can team up with a few friends and build bases and fight creatures. Procedural world as well, so it'll be different for every playthrough, I guess. And this is 50% off, still on the old regional price. So $9.99, $2.64 in India, $7.74 in the UK, $11.39 in Canada, and $10 in the Eurozone. Again, good player base as well. Next up we have the Halo Master Chief Collection. So unfortunately the prices have gone up in India. The regional price has gone up in other places as well probably, but it's still just under 10. So you get all the Halo games here, these ones included in this pack, for $9.99, $8.37 in India, $8.49 in the UK, $12.49 in Canada, $10 in the Eurozone. Metro Exodus, the final game in the Metro saga. Again, another game where the regional price has gone up in India. So other regions may be okay, in India it's not so great. So you have $5.99, $4.50 in India, $5.29 in the UK, $8.29 in Canada, $5.99 in the Eurozone. On Epic, you can get the old regional price on discount. So if you see it there, it should be like $180 or something. There's also a gold edition, which includes 2 expansions. the 2 kernels, and Sandstone. So this will be $7.99. Gold edition is recommended at this point. Next we have Green Hell. So Green Hell is a very realistic, you could say, open world survival crafting game with a story and like a open sort of exploration type mode as well, free roam you could say. But yeah, very good game. I played it very early when it first came out in early access. Did not have much content, but slowly they have developed it and it is fantastic now. Great game, you can see 85% positive rating, and also very good pricing wise, old regional price. So 67% off, 824 in India, 824 in the US, 187 in India, 643 in the UK, 956 in Canada, 692 in the Eurozone. Kingdom Come Deliverance. The sequel has been announced, I think coming out next year, but this first one is a brilliant game because this is not your usual RPG. It's more realistic, historical, so no dragons and other things, and it's in first person. Very nice game, set in medieval Bohemia, as they say. So again, gone up a little bit in price regionally, but still very affordable. 80% off, $599, $336 in India, $529 in the UK, $829 in Canada, $599 in the Eurozone. There's a Royal Edition with more DLCs. Also not that much more if you compare, so you could get this version. Gears 5, so just like Halo, this also got a price increase unfortunately. Still great game, I played it. It's sort of semi-open world, you have big areas, not truly open world, but still not bad. Graphically looks good and runs well. 67% off, $989, $890 in India, so it's actually more expensive in India. If you are not that keen, you could play this on the Game Pass because this is a little too high. $989 in the US and the UK, $13 for $19 in Canada, $989 in the Eurozone. Yeah, very lazy price conversion. Desperados 3. So beautiful game. These games are made by this developer Mimi Games. Mimi Games. Either way, their games are very beautiful. Whether it's Desperados, Shadow Tactics, or the new one, Shadow Gambit, all of them look beautiful. Stealthy games where you have to sneak around, avoid detection, things like that. And yeah, so this one is 75% off, and I don't have the regional pricing. Let me just update this. All right, price updated. So we have $9.99 in the US, $8.37 in the UK, $9.99 in Canada, and $9.99 in the Eurozone. So another lazy conversion. Game is great. And even now, like a good 12 hours after the sale has started, I'm still getting errors. Anyway, Pentiment. So this one, I wanted to play a very interesting looking game. Regionally, price hasn't been great, so that's why I've avoided it, but it's starting to go down now. So this is $9.99 once again, $6.49 in India, $7.49 in the UK, $12.49 in Canada, and $9.99 in the Eurozone. Scars Above. So this game has been getting sales and better discounts. Sci-fi third-person exploration game with some Souls-like combat. Not a very long game, so don't expect like hours and hours of content. Like 6 or 7 hours, I think, is the playtime, which isn't too bad these days, especially for me. 80% off, which is equal to its previous low. $599, $336 in India, $529 in the UK, $829 in Canada, and $6 in the Eurozone. Next, we have Ghostrunner, so a fast-paced action game. Sequel has also come out, and this is just a very fun game. First person, you have to sort of kill enemies quickly. You can also get killed very easily, so you have to, like, you know, string combos, wall run, jump around people, grapple, and things like that. Very enjoyable game. 70% off, $8.99 in the US, $6.29 in India, $7.49 in the UK, $12 in Canada, $9 in the Eurozone. Next is No Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch remastered. So originally a PlayStation 3 exclusive, ported to PC a few years later. Very nice looking JRPG. Combat is like the Pokemon style of stuff where you have creatures to fight for you. So turn-based stuff basically. But yeah, very nice looking game. And I had this on my PlayStation. So 85% off, $7.49. Regional price is incredible. $2.98 in India, $5.99 in the UK, $10 in Canada, and $7.49 in the Eurozone. The Pale Beyond. So a resource management survival style game. There's an expedition to, I think, the South Pole, and your captain is missing, so you have to manage and keep everyone alive, I suppose. Interesting game, and this was in a humble bundle recently. 50% off, $9.99 again, $4.40 in India, $8.37 in the UK, $12.99 in Canada, $9.75 in the Eurozone. Cloudpunk, so one of my sort of favorite relaxing, chill driving game. So this game is set in a futuristic cyberpunk city. You are a delivery driver. You have to deliver packages from A to B without asking questions. And then, of course, experience the city and the story of the people living here. And yeah, things like that. Open world. And it's got the sort of Minecraft style, graphics, voxel, but with a neon cyberpunk look to it. So this is 65% off, $6.99, $2.79 in India, $5.94 in the UK, $9 in Canada, $7 in the Eurozone. Now there is a second game coming out from the same developers. They're setting it in the same city, but it's more of a live sim style game within this city where you run your own shop and things like that. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Next is Resident Evil 2, so another popular Capcom game. This was my entry into the Resident Evil series, and I'm a big fan now. So they made a remake of the original Resident Evil 2 game from the PS1 era, I think. And yeah, this one was fantastic. You can play the game twice from two perspectives, two different protagonists. So good value in terms of gameplay as well. Slightly different angle, perspectives to what happened in this Raccoon City incident. And yeah, very, very well optimized, runs well, plays well, has some interesting puzzles here and there, and of course, shooting zombies. 75% off, usual price, $9.99, $4.99 in India, regional price is good, $8.74 in the UK, $13.74 in Canada, $9.99 in the Eurozone. A Plague Tale Innocence, so now I'm going to talk about a few very good quality AA games that are comfortably under 10. So A Plague Tale Innocence, again, very, very popular set during the 100 Years' War between France and England. There's a plague as well, the Black Death, rats everywhere. You play as two kids and you're trying to survive. That's the most I can give you without giving away the story. So 80% off, $7.99, $3.79 in India, $7 in the UK, $11 in Canada, and $8 in the Eurozone. Has been given away twice by Epic, but if you don't have it, it's on a great sale. This is the lowest price, normal price, doesn't drop below this. Next is Remember Me. So a very interesting game developed by Don't Nod and published by Capcom. And basically you play as this girl called Nilin, who's a memory remixer basically. So she goes into the memories of people and changes things around. So they forget what happened and they start believing all of that. And yeah, there's a cyberpunk element to it. It is set in the future. It is cyberpunk, but not in the usual neon stuff. The look is different. And it has a few quick time event type of fighting, but you also have a lot of combos that you can use if you can memorize them. I couldn't, so I just used the simple ones. But yeah, still a very satisfying game. It has an episodic structure as well, but with a bit more gameplay. 80% off, $5.99, $3.59 in India, $4.59 in the UK, $5.99 in Canada. Greedfall, so another game by Spiders, and yeah, one of my favorite games. It has a feel similar to the BioWare RPGs, set in a new world setting. So you are going to a different continent and you have different creatures and tribes living there, and you have to negotiate and deal with all of them and find ways to either get along with everyone or fight with one and stuff. And it all depends on how you interact and do the quests for each of these different factions. I really enjoyed this game. It's not the best game, not perfect. Combat is a bit janky at times, but overall the game was very satisfying. And now, because it's so cheap, I think it's definitely worth it. 80% off, $7, $3.19 in India, $5.99 in the UK, $9.59 in Canada, $6.99 in the Eurozone. And then we have Vampyr, another game by Don't Nod Entertainment, set in the early 1900s. You play as Dr. Reed, and the doctor gets bitten and turned into a vampire. So the story is basically you trying to be a good doctor, but also you need to feed some blood, and you have to pick and choose your victims so that it doesn't affect things too much. Very interesting concept. And this is 80% off, $7.99, $3.79 in India, $6.99 in the UK, and $10.99 in Canada, $8 in the US. So yeah, so that's a look at some games under 10. Obviously, there are a lot of games. I'll focus on games under 5 next, and after that, I'll focus on some categories, genres, and things like that. So let me know what you want to see. If you have any special requests, I'll try to get them as quickly as I can. There is a lot of stuff to cover, so I don't know if I can go into more detail with my videos like I used to with the gameplay footage and stuff. That takes a lot of time. So let me know if you want this style of video or if you want that style, so I can focus on that.